everybody. Welcome back to the 100th, that was very dramatic, episode of the Theater Enthusiast podcast. I said this to the guests before we started, and everybody who knows me, when I was talking about the 100th episode, I've said, I want to get somebody who I've been a fan of for a while, or people know who they are. And I'm just so beyond honored and thrilled that this person's kind of a mix of both. I have been such an admirer of them since I saw them in the 2006 revival of A Chorus Line, if that's giving anything away. They are like, watching you dance is kind of not normal to me because I watched you do the honey rag and you were doing the Charleston and your upper body wasn't moving and your lower body was moving. And I was like, that upsets me that I can't do it, but it's incredible. Anyway, it's Jessica Lee Goldyn is here. And I honestly, I told you I might cry. And I told you before we started, I've wanted to have you on this podcast for so long. And I am just so beyond thrilled that you are here. And not only that, but you're my 100th episode guest. And I'm just so honored to have you on. And when I even put out like the, hey, come on the podcast, I didn't even tell you that it was the 100th episode. I was like, just going to put it out there. And then I was like, oh, by the way, you want to tell her it's the 100th because that's a big deal.
I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
I'm convelling. I told you I put on a bodysuit that looks like a leotard. I put on a red lip for you. I even put my diamonds on for you.
The red lip is making me so happy.
It's my little Chicago, my little chorus line, because I figured, red Cassie.
Yes.
Kind of go with that. I was like, she sometimes wears a red lip, I think.
I do a lot.
Yeah. I put on my red lip and I was like, I can't believe how much paler I look, but I'm a stupid pale anyway. And a friend of mine said to me last night, I think it's so funny that your last name is Tanny because you're so pale. And I said, I know. Yeah, but I also say my joke is that I'm always tan because I'm a Tanny. So
yeah,
there you go. So Jessica, thank you again. And I'm going to keep thanking you for coming on. I'm speechless that you're here. I don't even know how to start the podcast. Like, what's up with you? What's going on? Let's just start there.
I'm here in Brooklyn. I'm chilling with my dog, Wally.
Nice.
I just got back from teaching
an intensive
on Broadway. Not an intensive.
Oh, not intensive. Okay.
Not intensive. This is I teach at Steps on Broadway 3 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And Tuesdays and Thursdays are 1 to 3. So I start my day there.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
That's wonderful. Well, we're gonna talk about all of the things. Don't worry. So, for some reason, your Wikipedia says you're from Staten Island, but you grew up in New Jersey. Like, what's going on there?
That's a true story.
Okay.
Born in Staten Island.
Mm-hmm.
My mother grew up on Staten Island.
Okay.
And born in a hospital in Staten Island, and we moved to Parsippany, New Jersey, when I was probably 2. So a true Jersey girl.
Yeah, of course. With like a mix of Staten Island. My stepdad's from Staten Island, so I understand it.
So you understand. Yeah, that is a very specific breed, isn't it? Wow. I've got Staten Island in me for sure.
Yeah. So I feel like because you've been in it's kind of crazy that it's like almost 20 years since the Revival on Corner.
I know.
And so like there's so much out about you that I kind of don't want to like divulge into like a lot of the stuff that people already know. Because, with this podcast, I like to keep it cool. I like to keep it fresh, So, what I'm interested in, because like I told you, I watched every little step today. And in my research with you, A Chorus Line has kind of, and, a lot of people do know you from playing Val in A Chorus Line and, taking over for Cassie and playing Cassie. I'm curious because you understudied the role too, right?
Yeah, I understudied the role. Well, the first time I did the show professionally was the Salton Theater. Mm-hmm. And I played Val in the production, which got me my equity card. And I covered Cassie then. And I went on once, like mid-show, Catherine Mott Murphy called out. And I went on. And so when I went in for the Broadway revival, they kind of, they knew.
Which, by the way, people should know you were 18 when you auditioned.
I was 18 when I auditioned.
Yeah.
I was 19 when we started rehearsal. Crazy. They knew that I had covered Cassie way too young to play the role. But so in like the second year, as we started losing people, as you do, people are moving on to do other shows, or they're getting hurt, or they're sick, whatever it is. They were hurting for coverage, and they were like, okay, maybe this kid could hold it down.
Yeah.
And I remember we had almost like a little audition, but Bob Avian had us, we just kind of wanted to see what we would do. And he trusted me to be a cover. I was absolutely, I believe, like a last resort. Because again, it was like 2021. And the stars aligned that they needed that last resort, that final, whatever that was, 2 weeks, that Charlotte couldn't do the show. And so I got a call 2 months before the end of the run from the producer, John Brolio, and he was like, do you want to play Cassie for the final performance? And I was like, what? Yes, I do. It's funny. It's like, it was such a dream. It was my dream role. Val was my dream role. But I never thought that I would play it then. I didn't think in 21 I'd be doing that part. And so, yeah, it was a whirlwind.
Yeah. What I find interesting too is that I've noticed you said, this sounds so stalkery and I apologize, but again, it's all like me doing research. So I promise I'm not like sitting on my phone, like drinking my water, just like stalking you. You sometimes do Q&As and somebody asked about you performing as Val and you were giving your interpretation of the character. And you were saying that, my interpretation of Val is that she's just super confident. She thinks she's the best dancer in the world. And in watching Every Little Step today, hearing Bob's interpretation of the role where he's like, she's a sweetheart, but she has, the mouth of a truck driver. Right. And so how did you kind of find Val with him?
Yeah. Oh, wow. I mean, he was so gracious in the way that he really let me do what I felt naturally. Again, I also think at that time specifically too, I really was Val. A Chorus Line was my second Broadway audition. So nobody really knew who I was. And
what was your first one? I'm so curious.
Wicked.
Okay, well, that's everyone's.
And
I'm assuming, I don't know.
I went in for Wicked and I loved it. I loved the choreo. And I made the first cut and I got to dance some of the flying monkey stuff. And I really thought that I was an unbelievable flying monkey. Like I believed I was a monkey. I nailed it. And they cut me. And so heartache. I love that show, and Wayne Salento's choreo was just like magic. But anyway, the second Broadway audition I did was a Chorus Line. So nobody knew who I was. I was really young, which is really the role in the show. She's kind of come out of nowhere. And it's like her and Mark on the line that are the young ones. And that's how it was in the show. Paul McGill was 18 when I was 19. I was standing next to each other on the line. And so what I loved was that, especially in the monologue of it all, or even in the staging of the song, he let me be myself and kind of wanted to see what I would do naturally. And then kind of helped shape me through it. Okay, well, let's keep this specifically there because that's something that, Michael Bennett was really passionate about, or that Pam Blair did, and we wanted to pay homage. But he let me infuse it with a lot of myself. I also relate to Val in that, especially when it comes to Sheila, there can be a lot of noise on stage. And I think I have a pretty long fuse when it comes to dealing with difficult personalities until I have to go and put it out. And I think Val kind of experienced that through that show, through the audition process of like Sheila kind of, poking her the whole audition until she finally says it where that Zach's loud enough, they aren't very big. And then it's like, no, I heard you, bitch,
Yeah.
And she stands up for herself. That I can relate to as well. I think as I get older, the fuse gets a little shorter. But so that I related to too. Yeah, Bob was just incredible. He made me feel he trusted me.
Yeah.
He trusted me in my delivery, and I'm also so grateful that I was 19 and that I was kind of like so much went past like over my head in what I was actually doing and who I was doing it with, you know. Yeah, he was incredible.
Yeah. Let's talk about getting a chat. I mean, it wasn't the stage, but you were outside of Radio City performing at the Tony Awards. What was that experience like?
My gosh. We filmed that late one night after a show. I don't know if it was like the night before the Tonys. I can't remember. But we were exhausted and had just finished the show and we were dancing on the concrete, you know, and we would look up and Marvin Hamlish was on that platform playing the piano above us. And it was my first time on the Tonys. It was it really was every one of my dreams coming true at the same time.
Yeah.
And then actually doing the Tony Awards, doing the live show, which we did one on, and rising on the platform. I don't remember a thing. You know, my legs were jello, but it felt like it happened in a split second, and I just prayed that I did the right amount of kicks because we were doing all these press events, and we would do a different version of one every single time. Like there'd be like, okay, this time we're going to do 8 kicks or 16 kicks here, or what, you know, whatever. It was always different. And so I just remember everyone backstage going, okay, we're doing this many, you know, like double checking as the platform was like rising, reminding each other what it was. Yeah, no, it was insane. Just insane.
Yeah. So I also found it interesting too, because you said that you were talking to people who have done a chorus line and you said Val's usually turn into either Sheila's or Cassie's.
Yeah.
And you've taken the route of Cassie.
Yeah.
Do you think at some point Sheila is in your future, or are you just sticking with Cassie for now?
You know, I this is again something that Mitzi Hamilton talks a lot about, and Mitzi Hamilton, of course, is part of the halves that the role of Val is made up of. In that you either, and I believe this of people in the industry, as I've been in it for 20 years, it's the tough industry, and you're either going to keep that heart and that passion pure, or it's going to get the best of you, you know, and you're going to, and I'm grateful that you know, not that I'm don't feel that I'm going to do, you know, my job, or that you know, you get tired of doing a show 8 times a week. That happens too. But that spirit of like, I get to be in a show, I get to dance, I get to do what I love, is still there. You know, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm going to be 40 this year and I still feel that way. And so, you know, the role of Cassie requires a great deal of vulnerability. And there was a really great interview with Bebe Neuwirth about this when she was probably around the age of 21 as well, talking about playing Cassie and playing Sheila, because she played both. And she said that they are very similar characters. It's just that one really has her defenses up and wears a lot of armor and doesn't want to let anybody near her. And that's Sheila. And the other kind of wears her heart on her sleeve. I think as just me as a person, my nature is open. Yeah. So I think that's why I, you know, play Cassie. I don't think I'd be a very good Sheila. You know, never say never. I think it'd be fun. I'll play it in my living room first and make, you know, see how it goes. But no, I think because of my openness, I don't know. I think there are better people for that role.
Yeah. I do notice that in the music and the mirror dance, it's Cassie's just joy and freedom of dancing. Yeah. And I'm going to ask a similar question later, but for you playing the role over the years that you have, and, you know, you've talked about Donna McKinney. I hope I'm saying her last name wrong. Right. Not wrong. Correct. Jeez, I'm a crow. Okay. I promise my brain is working. But you talked about how she says you had to like put your armor down and this is you being vulnerable and all that, and you're looking in the mirror and you're seeing yourself with like the freedom.
Yeah.
Did you notice that over the years and allowing yourself to kind of let go into the part that there's more of a freedom for you to dance that dance?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The greatest gift was getting to work with Donna McKechnie. The first time I worked with her was, I think it was 11 years ago now. And in those rehearsals, she would say, can you drop your Jersey armor? And we really did a month of, it felt like therapy. She's such an open person.
Yeah.
And she allows for you to be open. But the other gift, is that she really drove home the dance with the dialogue, and that you're playing this character within those piece. And so Cassie leaves Zach without a word, probably 2 years prior to this moment. They haven't spoken until Larry kind of tells her, hey, come to this audition, because she hasn't been doing anything out in LA. Come to this callback. So Zach doesn't know that she's going to be there. She's out of shape. She's been running around LA and doing God knows what, and she's kind of lost herself. And so in playing that reality in the scene, and trying to infuse it with as much of my own life and into the song, but then going into the dance, Donna would say to me all the time, stop dancing so much. Stop dancing so much. Again, especially in the first part of that dance. It's like Bambi finding its legs again. It's like it's in the Bible. It says the word stark. It's this stark movement. It's like checking in the mirror. Can I still do this? I remember this line. It's becoming familiar again with yourself. And so I think it's been such a beautiful journey for me, because when I was younger, it felt like I was like a bull in a pen ready to dance, pull the pin and I'm going to go and I'm going to dance at 110% from the beginning to the end. But what Donna gave me was this journey through the piece of finding myself again. And now that I'm an older dancer, trusting that I don't have to dance so hard. There was such a beautiful moment that I got to experience during the 50th anniversary celebration. And I was watching Donna sing, and then watched Robin Herder come out and sing, and Charlotte Dembois come out, and then they started to dance. And then watching Sarah Bowden came out and sounded so beautiful. And there's this moment, there's this adrenaline rush, right? Because it's one night. One night, and there's this pressure, and this, a camera is going to be on somewhere in the house to capture what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And I think when you're younger, you kind of feel the need to play into this pressure. After all this time, I just thought, oh man, there's nothing to prove. And you get that to that place in your life. And I went, and just to be able to go out there and do the piece the way that I worked on it with Donna, and really pay homage to her in what she's passed on to me, and just live in it with no expectation. Beautiful. And Donna called me after that performance, actually, and I'll never forget that phone call the rest of my life. She was in a bank, and she cried, and she thanked me, because she saw that because I did what we had worked on, what she had passed on to me. And that is something I'm so passionate about, is keeping it alive for the next generation in the way that she has passed it on to me. And so, it's been a beautiful journey with that piece, but she really, she changed it all.
Yeah. I would love to talk to you about, I know you did Hello Dolly at the Schubert. So, very quickly, because that's where a chorus line was for so many years. That's where it originated from. But then you got to do the 50th anniversary as Cassie at the Schubert Theater. So I would like to know, one, when you were first doing Hello Dolly, were you like, oh my God, this is where a chorus line was? And then part two of that was when you found out you were going to be doing the 50th anniversary of a chorus line, which I would also like to know how that phone call came in and how they decided you as Cassie. Um, we'll get there, but were you just like, holy shit? Like, I'm from, because I do merch at Broadway shows, and one of the shows I work at is Hell's Kitchen. So I'm there like pretty regularly, and they had the
Yeah.
plaque in the box office
Yeah.
about a chorus line being
Yeah.
at the Schubert Theater. So
Yeah.
what was it like performing that on the Schubert stage with like all of these different Cassies?
Oh my God. Well, A, I absolutely knew when I got Hello Dolly that that was the theater that a chorus line took place in. And so the second I walked through that door, that stage door, you know, I felt like you could feel it in the walls. I used to do the turns on the passerelle. I used to do the Cassie turns down the passerelle. There's a video somewhere of me doing this um, because I just wanted to do it on the stage that Donna had done it on.
Yeah.
And so I think I was absolutely secreting it. But also, I'm such a, um, I'm so passionate about passing on a chorus line, not just in playing this role, and keeping it alive again in the way that Donna passed it on, but passing on the show and keeping it alive for the next generation. And, so again, my 20-year career has included a chorus line almost every year because I love it so much. And I knew that the 50th anniversary was coming up, and there were whispers of it constantly. And everybody was talking about how hard Bjork Lee was working to try to get this show to happen, to have the celebration happen. And I think I had heard that she was kicking around with the public theater and, uh-oh, can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
She was kicking it around with the public theater. And actually, I want to make sure that I'm not dying. I think I'm dying. Hold on.
Her computer, not actually her.
Not me, actually, my computer. Okay.
Just her. We're good. We're good. Here.
So she was kicking it around and then she was able to find some producers. So I was able to get in touch with. I mean, I think there were a lot of dancers reaching out all the time to Bjork. I know I did. I absolutely was sending emails saying, hey, is it happening? Are we, is it going to happen? Are we going to celebrate it? And so I was involved pretty early on in chats with the producers and being included. And I was floored when talking to Natasha, one of the producers. She said, Bjork would really love for you to take part as Cassie. And she said, you're the Cassie of this generation, and it would mean a lot to have you on that stage dancing that piece. And I, what do you say? It's such an honor, and it means so much to me.
Yeah.
And so to get to take part of the night, to get to do Music in the Mirror, but then also to do the full show and get to do the opening number and the fourth montage in one, it's so much fun. Those are the moments being on the line with everybody. It's just a blast. So yeah, it was an honor.
Yeah. And again, to do it at the Schubert Theater too.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then when I, as the night kind of took shape, as Bjork was shaping it and the producers were passing it along, when she decided to recreate the gala performance, which was originally constructed by Michael Bennett and had, I think it was 7 Cassies in 1989, but there, it was a full Music in the Mirror with many Cassies. I was thrilled. It's when I heard about the 50th anniversary taking place, in my mind, I hoped that would be what she would do. And she did what I think everybody wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So no, yeah, it was unbelievable.
I noticed that because may or may not have watched that performance many times. Just putting it out there. And I noticed that there's part where normally Cassie's facing the mirror.
Mm-hmm.
All the other Cassies are facing the mirror with the exception of you. You're facing the audience.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like, having done the dance so much, but seeing it from a different perspective?
That was wild. I doing the dance without a mirror is interesting. And actually I bow to Robin and Charlotte because I actually think it's a very difficult part of the dance to turn around and see yourself and orient yourself after singing it to dance it in the mirror. And to do that without a mirror is difficult. And so when we were in rehearsals for the part of the dance where, the slow section, with the other ladies kind of flanking me, when I didn't realize that I'd be facing downstage. And that was a little bit of a shift. It was different than what was done in '89, but also we didn't have mirrors on the Hell's Kitchen stage for the 50th anniversary. So, yeah, it was interesting. I just kept trying to keep the intention the same, which is that it's me interacting with myself in the mirror, not me playing to an audience or having it feel any presentational to them. And I felt pretty successful in that. And it was really cool. There was a gorgeous moment. So Michelle Aravena and we did the Broadway revival together, and she was a swing, but she played Deanna Morales a lot. And anyway, I adore her. She's currently cast in Cabaret. And there was this very cool moment where I would turn back to the mirror. It was kind of the only moment really that I turned up stage in the beginning of that slow section, and she and I were standing right in front of each other. And it was just, I feel like it was fated and the universe, because she was so wonderful to me. I was 19 and I didn't know a lot about a lot, but I talked like I did and I acted like I did. And she was so kind to me in that dressing room, in that show, and so supportive. And to get to have that moment with her where we connected and kind of mirrored each other, I'm so grateful that happened. Yeah, and then it was just a cool thing when we started rehearsal, Bayor kind of said to the ladies, okay, we're going to watch what Jessica does, which is truthfully really what Donna does. I very much so pay homage to her specifically in that section. And so she said, we're gonna mimic what she does. So it was just cool to get to see that movement in the way that Donna passes it on, danced by all the different Cassies at once. Makes my heart very happy.
Yeah.
And then to get to fly, I mean, I've wanted to dance with Sarah Esty for such a long time. I am a crazy fan of hers, from, American in Paris on, just like she is. And what an incredible Maggie. Her voice is insane. And so to get to fly next to her during that Swan Lake section, it was just awesome. It was just awesome. Yeah.
So I also love how you talked in your Instagram Q&A, and I would love to talk to you a little bit about this more. You talk about somebody asked something about what you're the most proud of in your career, and you mentioned legacy. So I'd love to talk to you about that, because in, looking into you a little bit more and you talking and how you're just always inspired by these amazing dancers, and, even with your choreography, how some of it's inspired by people. I would love for you to talk about what it means to you because you also mentioned to carry on and how important it is to you, the legacy of a chorus line, because especially as a dancer who dances, thank you. I'm never going to not see that. Yeah. And then it also just reminds me, I don't know if you're an SNL fan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's when Paul Rudd hosted and Beyonce was the musical guest. And they had this sketch where Paul Rudd was her music director for all the single ladies. And he's like, yeah, my stepsons are going to be your backup dancers. And Justin Timberlake just said, we're the dancers. So whenever those are the two things in my head where it's I'm a dancer who dances, or we're the dancers.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, what was the question?
I don't even know. We're talking about legacy.
Legacy.
Yes.
Legacy. Okay. Yes. So, Yeah, this is
Because you teach dance, you have the source NYC, which we're 100 million thousand percent going to get into because I would love people to know about it, but I was kind of aiming for like the end of the pot to talk about it. But we got it. What we can talk about it now. Why not?
Well, so I think it's been such an evolution. I've been so lucky in my career, but also in my training. I worked with a lot of people that trained with, the people that worked with Bob Fosse, the people that worked with Jerome Robbins and Michael Bennett. And so the studio that I grew up at, I was working with Louis Villabon, who he actually works very closely with Bioerkley for a long time now. He was a brilliant Paul in a chorus line. He is a brilliant Paul. And he would, in our jazz classes, teach all of that stuff, all of that old school jazz and musical theater jazz. And so from a young age, from 11 on, I was dancing that stuff. And then I was teaching from the time I was 15 onward.
Yeah.
I never thought I would teach in the city and not at this level. But I would say post-pandemic, I started teaching here, and I just realized that my path was narrowing. Like, I feel like my journey is becoming very clear, that I am supposed to be a part of keeping this flame alive, of passing on this information. Mm-hmm. And, I've worked with the Virgin Fosse Legacy. I've learned from them. I was a part of their original invited classes. It was the first show I did on the road when I was, 17. My God, 17. And I'm so passionate about keeping that stuff alive, the Bennett stuff. I could go on and on about the Jerome Robbins stuff. I'm very passionate about actors, being actors first through movement. And so post-pandemic, as I started teaching, I realized that I really love watching interpretation. I love revivals. I love watching people make it their own. But I am also a big believer in that you have to know what it is first to know what interpretation will allow, right? So like when I work with students, I'll give you this analogy. I'll have a student come in to a private lesson mm-hmm. and say, I want to, learn music in the mirror. And I remember being that age in my 20s and learning it for the first time. And it feels like this untouchable thing, right? Or this precious thing. And I picture Donna doing it. And I like to say it's like a glove. And if, say, music in the mirror is this glove, and for us, we like put it on this pedestal and we put it under a glass case and like there are lights all around it. And it's this special, precious thing. Yeah. And you have to be brave enough to take the glass off and put it on. But then we also have to like acknowledge what the glove is and what it's made of and what the inside, how it's lined and, and to keep the glove intact. But then, okay, well, how am I going to accentuate this curve or, make this stand out more? Or, yeah, okay, maybe we can do away with this, but the glove keeps its form. And so, that's kind of how the source came about. Mm-hmm. In that I'm so passionate about the transmission of knowledge and that you want to get closest to that source information because the further down the line you get mm-hmm. from that person who, was in the room with Michael Bennett or Bob Fosse or Jerome Robbins or any of the greats, you're going to get watered down information.
It's kind of like a game of telephone.
It's a game of telephone. It's like an interpretation on an interpretation on an interpretation. And so that's kind of how my husband and I started the source. Mm-hmm. And not just in the old works, kind of bringing dancers, young dancers into the room with the choreographer or as close to the choreographer as we can get, or the person who performed it, so that it lives on.
Yeah.
And, recently we were lucky enough to have Donna McKechnie come in and teach music in the mirror. And she insisted upon having a videographer there so that we would have footage of her and her words about what the dance is and what the dialogue is, and what Michael Bennett's words were. And it was just so special, to have the young dancers in the room with her, getting it from her, not getting it from me or anybody else, getting it from her. And it just feels like this drive gets stronger and stronger in me to continue that. And especially, again, when it comes to a chorus line, it's a very special show.
Yeah. And especially if again, I'm not a dancer, but especially if you're a dancer. And I know I keep bringing up the documentary, but I watched it today. And it's so true, because if you're a dancer, it shows you what the industry is, and it shows you the ups and downs of what it's like to be a dancer or a performer. Because like you said, it's not an easy industry. And I've talked to many people, performers, like producers, writers, like it runs the gamut on this podcast.
Yeah.
And, sometimes I mention this analogy that I heard Neil Patrick Harris talk about in an interview, and he's like, the industry is kind of like surfing, where you're just like sitting there waiting for the wave, and you're swimming out to it, and then you get the wave and you're riding it, not.
Yeah.
And then, you're riding the wave, and then it goes down, and then you're just waiting for the next wave to come, and then you're swimming towards it, and then you get it and you catch the wave.
Right.
Also with dancers, sometimes they think there's a shelf life, because like you mentioned with Jacques D'Amboise, how he said, you die two deaths.
Yeah.
The dancer sometimes. And again, not a dancer, but that's it. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like that Michael Scott quote where he's like, sometimes I just keep talking and I don't know where I'm going. That's me half the time.
He's saying all of the time.
Yeah. But I will say, I also watch some, like, that video of you doing the dance to Prince, where you and that girl Megan like pick. Yeah, this is me like being like, she's insane with like dancing, and you're just like, I have an idea. We're gonna like do a split, and then we're gonna do this. And I was like, my body hurts. And then you're choreographing Patti LuPone doing Music in the Mirror.
I can't. I love being silly. I have to say, doing in the studio with Megan Bowen, the angels were with me that day, because that's actually like my worst nightmare in a lot of ways, but it ended up being the time of my life because she's an angel, and it just, again, the angels were with me. I am very much so, I've gotten better, but I can be a perfectionist about choreography. Again, I never thought I would choreograph anything. And I don't really have, I'm not looking to like find my voice in choreography. Again, I love to take the old stuff and dust it off and make it new and accessible to the new generation. But I don't even really allow that many dancers. Like, I really have to trust you to allow you to come in and like help me create. And usually it takes me a really long time to do that. And so when she was like, you're going to come on this show and you're not going to know what song we're going to choreograph to, and we're going to pull, dance steps out of a hat, and you'll do 8 counts and then I'll do 8 counts, and we'll do that for like, 32 counts. I was like, oh my God, I mean, I know she's fun. And so I knew it was going to be fun, but I was also really scared. And then we had the time of our lives. I was not expecting to pull like a cooter slam for the first count. And so I thought, well, what could be more ridiculous than doing a full split in the first 8 count? You got to put it on the one. And so I was like, let's drop immediately.
Yeah.
I love being silly. And then, oh my God, Sean McManus. Do you know him?
Oh yeah. I've seen his Instagrams. Yeah. Hilarious.
I am such a fan. I first kind of clocked him when he was doing Beetlejuice. We're both gymnasts. And we're gonna meet up and go to Chelsea Piers, because I will be doing my last round off back handspring back tuck this year. I have this.
Are you retiring it before you?
I'm retiring it before my kneecaps blow off my legs. I have this tradition that I'm actually keeping alive. My dear friend Brad Anderson, who also did this, but he did it well past 40, I'm pretty sure. That he did a round-up backhand spring back tuck every year on his birthday. And so I have tried to do that. I definitely skipped a couple of years. And yeah, in fact, I don't think I did it last year. But
you were in the snow on your birthday.
I was. I always am.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you saw. Okay.
Yeah. I told you, like, again, it sounds stalkery whenever I tell people, I'm like, yeah, I saw this video. It's like, that sounds so stalkery when I like deep dive into people's
snow?
Yeah, in a leotard, no less. It's fine.
Oh my God.
You're a winter baby, right?
Yeah, I'm the day after Christmas.
Yeah, I'm January. So
Are you?
Yeah, January 18th. Bye-bye.
And so
by the way, anybody listening, I am accepting birthday gifts all year round. No big deal.
I know. I kind of love it. I don't know how you feel about it.
Oh, I'm a big birthday person.
Are you?
Oh my God. Because my older sister said to me once, she's like, why are you so into your birthday? And I said, it is the one time a year it's about me.
You're right.
Yeah. And Whoopi Goldberg said it best because she's a big birthday person too. And she said, I'm just stealing this as an excuse to not sound selfish. But she said, you have to celebrate your birthday because there are people around who aren't around to celebrate their birthday.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Yeah. I love my birthday. It's the best time of year. That and the holidays, but
I don't like it because we're always around family and, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And as someone who is Jewish, I do enjoy a Christmas season.
The holidays.
Yeah, I love it.
Fuzzy and warm and yeah. This year, the plan is to get into the gym with Sean.
Mm-hmm.
I moved it indoors to a sprung floor 3 years ago because the hardwood was not happening. And so we're going to do my last round off backhand spring back tuck. We will maybe I'll ask him. I think maybe we need Patty for that too.
Oh, yeah. Patty LaPone. That's my terrible Patty LaPone impression. Patty. No.
I love being silly and stupid. I had the time of my life doing that music in the mirror. Also, he dances down.
Oh, yeah. I was like, okay, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Patty was hitting the step.
Oh, that she was.
Yeah.
And that I loved him going into Evita instead of the Cassie.
I don't understand how he was able to edit it because I laughed through the entirety of our session. And we only filmed for about an hour.
Yeah.
I could not keep it together.
Yeah. I saw the blooper reel. It's fine.
Oh my
It was great.
Brilliance.
So let's go back a little bit. So a chorus line is done. Mm-hmm. What happens after a chorus line?
The show? After the revival?
Yes.
Okay. After the revival, I did a lot of regional theater.
Yeah.
Which was kind of great.
Yeah.
Because I could I don't know, I felt like I was able to go away and discover who the hell I was.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull up the list of things you did.
Yeah.
You did Sweet Charity. You did Crazy for You, Legally Blonde, Damn Yankees, Guys and Dolls, Chicago, South Pacific. Naming some things. Yeah, it's I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this or not, but Broadway, Chicago never come to your life.
Oh, Allison.
Oh, or are we not going to talk about it?
No, we are. I'll talk about it all the time.
Okay.
It is my dream.
Okay.
Dream.
I don't know how it hasn't happened.
Thank you. Same.
Maybe you just call Charlotte and be like, listen, I know you're coming back into the show.
I do. I've called her. No, no.
Be like, if you want to take a week off,
have you
going?
Have you seen her Roxy?
You know what? Honestly, I haven't, and I've always wanted to, but I know she'll come in at some point.
It's a masterclass. No one will ever be able to touch it. And she is unbelievable.
Yeah,
she is unbelievable.
Who would you want to play though? Because I know you've played both Roxy and Velma, right?
Now I have played both.
Okay.
Right now I'm a Roxy.
Okay.
I want to play both roles at some point.
Yeah.
But right now I'm a Roxy.
Listen, BB Newirth did.
She played Mama Morton. I'm pretty sure
all three.
For Broadway backwards, she was Billy Flynn.
Yeah, you need to get the trifecta.
Oh my God. But yes, my that is my dream show. I would love to be in the show.
Listen, Mirror Serve.
I've auditioned many times. I've auditioned like, I don't know, probably, the last 20 years.
Oh,
It's going to be a matter of time.
yeah. Is it your Broadway white whale?
I guess, yeah. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I will say, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you.
You're perfect.
Thank you. I realized this one of the last times I saw the show was Moulin Rouge is my comfort show to see. And then when they announced you going as Yin, that's again, why can't I speak in front of you? I'm just so excited you're here for the 100th episode, or just like you here, period. Like that doesn't even matter what number episode it is. I'm just like, honestly, just like so chef's kiss that you're here. They announcing you going in as Nini. I was like, this is correct.
No.
Cannot wait. I don't know how many times I saw you in the role because I've seen that production. I'm not going to say the number on my podcast for people to judge me, but I'll tell you after. You were such a good Nini.
Thank you.
You were so good in that part. And one of my favorite numbers, not one of my favorite number in that show, especially the choreography of the ensemble, is Roxanne. And my favorite piece of choreography in the entire show, and that's as I'm sure you know, and those who have seen it's a very choreography heavy show, is when the guys are walking and the women hold on to their ankles.
And they drag them. Yeah.
It's
so good.
It's so good. It's my favorite piece of choreography in that show. Just like in An American in Paris, my favorite choreography piece is when they're like this with their arms. And
I've never seen it.
Really? Girl, it's on, they filmed it. It's on.
I know, I've seen pieces, but I haven't seen the entirety of the show. My husband did it on tour.
Yeah.
No, Sonia's work in Moulin Rouge is next level.
It's like, it's Tony winning. But what was it like going in? Also, because you auditioned for the role in 2020, right?
So here's the tea.
Oh, and my hot priest, I got the ready for it.
Drink that hot priest, honey.
It's just water, I promise.
I auditioned for the tour for the pandemic, and I got the part. And I said to them, I really am interested in, yes, doing the tour, but if the role opens up on Broadway, I would like to do it in New York. And then pandemic hits, and lived my life finding out who the hell I was, like what I liked other than doing theater. Yeah, it's great. But so I was kind of starting to prep to do the tour when the role became open on Broadway. And it was an interesting moment for me to go into that show at that time, because that is a beast of a show.
Yeah.
It just is. And I was coming in fresh off the pandemic. I was like, I'm just grateful to be alive and then be here. And we're all just like singing and dancing and acting, for a living and making people happy. And I know I was not prepared for like what hit me, going into rehearsals for that. Being a replacement, in a show when you're being only replacing one person is difficult. And I'm trying to think if I had really done it before that. Maybe originally, but it's a much smaller gig when you're doing that. For Moulin Rouge, they're setting off like pyrotechnics, and you're like, there's 100 people like passing you within inches, and it was basically the entire original cast.
Yeah,
I had been with the show from the beginning, besides Eric Anderson, who played Ziedler. He was a replacement, and then it was me. And so, I felt like I was on the fast track of like getting back in shape in every way. remembering what it's like to be on stage. And in that show, when you're like breaking the fourth wall and like grabbing people, in the can seats and physically getting back in shape, like learning how to breathe in that damn corset and being dragged on a toe, it was just like, it was a whirlwind adventure. And I'm so grateful. Like there were so many wonderful people in that show that like Carly DiNardo was a freaking angel from heaven. And, she covered Nene and I got to see her and she was so brilliant, such a brilliant Nene. And to get to have that role passed on from her, and she was just so kind and lovely and gracious. Like, I bow to her. I love her. And then, as getting to do Nene opposite Ricky was really cool because he originated that role. But it's an interesting thing when it feels like you're trying to fill the shoes of the person that was there before. I don't feel like I was able to start really exploring and also just feeling like I had my feet underneath me until Caleb Marshall came in. And kind of at that moment, there was like half the cast kind of had moved on and new people were coming in. And so there was like this awesome, swirling of new energies. But Caleb and I, we found our groove together. And that wasn't until, I think 3 months into my run.
Yeah.
I will say, I think Moulin Rouge is the hardest show I've ever done. Energy wise, it requires the most of you when you're on the stage. And Nene's actually not even on stage for a lot of the show.
Yeah.
You finish Raise Your Glass and you're sitting in your dressing room for like 45 minutes. And I was just like doing lives and, ridiculous in my dressing room before I went on stage for Bad Romance, which, opens the second act. But it's the type of choreography that Sonia had us do. Again, Roxanne, it feels like we're not even on, it's like a blip. We're not even on stage for that long. And we would just like to walk up the stairs to our dressing room after that number. Mm-hmm. We would be like, it was like climbing Mount Everest, like crazy. It's a hard show. And I feel like I lived for that show. I was fully like, I feel like I was asleep. If I wasn't at that theater, I was at home sleeping.
Yeah.
Constantly living for that show.
Yeah. So I'm curious to know, because every show is different. You did Chorus Line, Hello Dolly, Tuck Everlasting, and have you, and you're just talking of like a beast of a show that Moulin Rouge is. Yeah. So like I mentioned to you, my coworker who's a dancer, and he shout out Jacob, by the way. He's going to be thrilled that I'm mentioning this.
I love you, Jacob.
Oh, he's going to die that you said that. I'm going to message him right after this and be like, by the way, Khalid Goldyn says she loves you, and he's going to pass out, because I literally wrote to him like, I'm interviewing her, and in all caps, oh my gosh, I am so jealous. In all caps. And so he gave me a list of questions, and one of them, let me see, what does her recovery post show look like, and or what does prep look like before a show? So because you've worked on all these different shows, and it's really for anybody out there listening who is also a dancer and wants to pursue this and has followed your career or has taken your classes. And like I mentioned, you've been in all these different shows, whether it's ensemble, cover, replacement, Val/Cassie. So I'm sure it's different for each one. So I'm gonna let you take the floor.
Well, yeah. So again, for Rouge, I was living for that show. I would sleep in between shows. I just, all I remember that whole year and a half, I just slept during Moulin Rouge because I was exerting so much energy at night. The other show that is a beast to get through is A Chorus Line. And for that one too, I mean, I have to eat right. I feel like, I don't know about you, but I could be a little bit of a stress eater, and I love sugar. There have been so many nights, like I remember doing Moulin Rouge and like falling asleep, like in bed next to Blake and being like, do we have chocolate cake? And he was like, can you shut your eyes and go to sleep? This is not the time for chocolate cake. But like my comfort is food a lot of the time. And I feel like I've gotten to a good place about eating really well. And I feel that when I'm in the show, I feel my energy level. I'm also a caffeine freak, or I can be. And so trying to be good about not having caffeine too late. And so I will, on a 2-show day, have, something, a coffee, a Celsius before the first show. And then, I'll usually have something in between shows to get me through the night show. Hydrate. I warm up now. I never used to warm up. I mean, if I was doing, I don't know if I warmed up before like a Tuck Everlasting. But or even a Hello Dolly. That was a pretty chill show. I had the time of my life in Finding Neverland. Mia Michaels' choreography was brilliant. I also have learned that like I love to do shows where I'm working really hard. So even though Rouge was a beast, so like I had no personal life, I am happier doing that than kind of feeling like it's a walk in the park. I kind of feel, I don't know, like I don't know what to do with myself when I'm in a show like that.
Yeah. I also not, I can kind of tell that with just like your video, like watching your videos and even the video you did with Megan, you're like, okay, I have an idea. Like you're so in your element when you're creating and teaching and coming up with dances. At least that's how I think and feel.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I for sure. And I think I've also just learned the things that I'm good at.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I'm really good at is pushing the gas pedal to 110% and knowing how to kind of like dance on the edge in a way that feels dangerous without it being dangerous. And that is kind of a part of the gift that I get to share with the world, at least now.
Yeah.
Like we talk about like the 2 deaths, I know I'm only going to be able to dance that way for a certain amount of time. And so while I can dance that way, I want to dance that way.
Well, it's funny too, because in the documentary I watched today, Bjork was saying like, the expression eat nails, like this dance is eating nails. And I was like, oh my God, that is what Jessica literally does in like everything that I've seen.
That's
like
how like
nails.
That's how I connected with Bjork and I like fell in love with her because she is like a stick of dynamite. She is on fire at all times. Her energy is insane. And it is like it's eating nails. And I just feel so alive when I get to dance at that level.
Yeah.
I don't know. I am not made to like, I don't know, dance safe or like roll back or I don't, mark. Even when I go to mark something, I don't know how to do it. But the other side of that, and it kind of goes back to what we were talking about, like riding the wave and like, having the gift of being able to dance that way for so long. Mm-hmm. I had a beautiful class with the Verdun Fosse Legacy. We had Ben Vereen came on and we were doing, this was recently, this is in the last like few months, we were doing the Manson Trio from Pippin. And he came and watched us and it was so beautiful. And then he did a Q&A and he was talking about, Bob Fosse and his own career and dancing. And he said, one of the gifts that Bob Fosse gave him, and they talked about it, was they talked about the fact that you can dance that style from now until the end of time. Once that body starts to go and you can't really like push the gas that same way, you're still able to dance that. And so I'm so grateful that I have had this relationship with the Bob Fosse's work because I know I'm going to be able to do that when I can't dance like a monster in the way that I love to. Mm-hmm. I'm the happiest when I'm doing that. And so when I fought for Finding Neverland, I auditioned for that show like, I don't even know, 7 times. And Patrick Goodwin was such a champion for me and cast me in the show. And me and Michael was the same way. These are beast women. I really respond well. And it's probably my gymnastic side too, of like, just like go hard. And I remember like Mia would come in and she was working on the Peter Pan stuff with me because I also covered that. And she would just have me go full force and throw my body. And, I'm not a contemporary dancer. I never grew up doing contemporary. And so the fact that I did Mia Michaels' work and Sonia's work, it's like, that's not really in my wheelhouse. I've kind of I had to figure out how to fake that well. But I know full throttle. And so, getting to dance Finding Neverland, and I also really loved getting to play that many different roles. It felt like every scene we were a different part, and I felt very present in all of the storytelling of it. I love to act through the movement, and so I got to like take off my wig every night, and my hair was soaking wet from sweat, and that's like the best feeling in the world. Yeah, I know I got off topic. I'm just talking to talk. But
That's what this podcast really.
I know.
We just talk about. We can do a random topic now. Do you want to pick a random topic and we can just talk about it? Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
Are we going to do Ragtime now?
Oh,
or did you want to pick, or did you want to do Hot Priest? Which one do you want? Or you pick
I'm ready for Ragtime.
Okay. I constantly say this every time I talk to anybody about Ragtime on this podcast. I have been talking about for years, kind of manifesting, because I've talked about it for so long, so I'm just going to call it manifesting. A production of Ragtime at Lincoln Center with certain cast members, two of which are Joshua Henry and Brandon Uranowitz. And I had other people in roles, but then they announced it at City Center with Brandon Uranowitz and Joshua Henry, and I'm like, you know what?
You did that.
I'm taking full credit for it. But I was like, I'm not getting my Lincoln Center, but I'm getting Ragtime with Joshua Henry and Brandon Uranowitz. And then they announced Lear is taking over as artistic director. And then they announced Ragtime at Lincoln Center. So it's pretty much the City Center show. But there is video that I posted, like I made an Instagram story where I'm literally sitting in my bed, hysterically crying, or just like tears running down my face. The fact of like, Ragtime is going to be a Lincoln Center, and it has Brandon Uranowitz and Joshua Henry. I mean, I'm not getting the director I originally wanted, which is fine. I'm still getting Ragtime at the Vivian Beaumont Theater. I'm getting Joshua Henry as Cole House. I'm getting Brandon Uranowitz as Tata. And by the way, I have a friend who's a swing in the show, and he was a swing at City Center. And so my friend and I were waiting for him after, and we were lucky enough to see him perform. And Brandon Uranowitz walked by, and I was like, oh, hi, by the way. And I met him, and I said, I actually have like manifested you in this role for years. And he said, well, thank you for manifesting me. I know
He's perfect.
He is in any role that he does. I saw him in Assassins off Broadway, and he just broke me. He is so like, it's kind of unfair how incredible. It's not unfair, but it's just, he's such an incredible performer.
It's a visceral performance.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah. I don't think I've been this excited for a revival in a really long time.
Oh yeah.
I was excited for the last revival of Ragtime. I was talking about it on my Insta the other day.
Oh, that's how I discovered your affinity for Ragtime. And I was like, she and I will be talking about Ragtime.
I am such a dork for this show. It was the second show I ever saw. Chicago was the first show I ever saw. So that was, that spoke to the dancer in me. And I was like, yeah, I want to do this. I didn't know theater could move you the way that Ragtime moved me.
Yeah.
And so it changed my life.
Did you see it at City Center?
Oh, I saw it at City Center, but I got to see the original. I got to see Audra and Brian Stokes Mitchell and like Mary Maisie. Like, no, it changed my life.
Yeah. They did it.
I cried. I will still cry. I will put on that cast recording and like, I don't know how you listen to Wheels of a Dream and not cry.
Oh, we were like front row mezzanine or balcony. We were somewhere in that theater at City Center. We were crying. We did the standing ovations. I somehow last season got a free membership to Lincoln Center Theater. They were just like, hey, you have a free membership. I don't know how or why I got that. But they're like, hey, it's time to renew. I'm like, eh. And then they're like, Ragtime. So I renewed my membership so we can get my membership ticket. And I was like looking at the dates, and I was like, you know what? Let me see what they have for stand-up previews. For like $87. I don't know how I was able to pull this off. I am sitting front row center orchestra. Not dead center, but I'm sitting front row center orchestra.
Oh my God.
And I have been telling people maybe I'm thinking about buying waterproof mascara for that day. I don't want to because I'll only use it once, but I just like, I can't even tell you.
Oh,
And I had Tiffany Mann on the podcast, and we were, because she was in the City Center Revival, and my friends and I saw it after the election. And so we
I
were,
did too. I did too.
yeah, and we were talking about that. But it's so interesting too how like the show was written 20 plus years ago
Oh my God.
about a story that takes place over 100 years ago.
And it's still so
And
relevant.
it's still so relevant to,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. And, I'm just gonna say it. I can see you as an Evelyn Nesbit. I said
Oh
it.
my God, dreams.
I said
Dreams.
it.
Oh, I'm not pretty enough for an Evelyn Nesbit.
Oh, would
But
you stop?
God love you. God love you. But
Listen,
yes,
Val, okay?
I used to imagine
Listen.
that. I used to imagine that.
Yeah.
Um, no, that cast, and the cast that I saw at City Center is,
Yeah.
they're perfect. It was so perfect. And the revival cast is going to be perfect.
Yeah.
I, I'll never forget when I did Tuck Everlasting.
Mhm.
I found out that Ben Cook was one of the original little boys in the original Ragtime. And so he'd come out and be like, in 1902, father built a house at the crest of the, and I lost my mind. And so there was this scene in Tuck Everlasting where I was like a floozy with Terrence Mann as the man in the yellow jacket. It was a really cool number that we did. Anyway, I was this like sexy floozy, and Ben Cook was one of the like, I don't know, the fair goers or something. And I had to like flirt with him. And so I would whisper into his ear and be like, in 1902, father built a house, and he would die. But like, I just yeeking that I was on stage with him. And I joke about it. When I saw the City Center version, my friend, Richie Yoder, who I did Hello Dolly with, I would talk about Ragtime nonstop during that show. And we would talk about it on stage because I would dance with him. He was one of my dance partners. And I saw him at City Center that night at intermission. And of course, my face was like swollen from crying. And he was like, I can't believe I'm seeing you on this night because I know what this means to you. And and then I walked home that night, just like my face was so swollen from crying. It was like you could blindfold me with floss. It looked
We're
like
getting a little teary-eyed right now.
it was crazy.
It's you kind of forget sometimes when you haven't listened or seen a show in so long, the impact that it has on you. Like I sometimes feel that way with like Drowsy Chaperone. You kind of forget how fucking brilliant that show is. And then you listen to the cast album and you're just like, this show is so brilliant. And then with Ragtime, you sometimes, I mean, at least for me, you sometimes forget how powerful of a piece it is. They did it my senior year of college, and I saw it 5 times. So I did. Like, I saw my college production of it because I ushered at the theater it was at. So I just like sat and watched it. And I had a friend who understudied the role of mother. So they did the understudy performance, and I saw her after, like hysterically crying. And yeah, it's just,
Also, that show is my show with my dad. So my dad isn't really big into theater, and he's supportive, but
yeah.
my mom danced, and so she and I share, I can call her and talk about anything.
Yeah.
And but as soon as I learned about Ragtime and learned the cast recording, saw it, and I would listen to it nonstop, my dad would drive me back and forth to ballet classes, and it was always Ragtime, and I would make him sing all the male parts so I could sing all the female parts. And so my dad knew the entire show. And so when that first revival came around, I bought a ticket for him to see it because he never saw the original. And I would explain to him, okay, this is the part where he ascends the stair, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I got to take him to see the revival, and I would love to take him to see this one as well because and it made me even more, teary-eyed sitting next to him and getting to show him this show that I had introduced to him.
Yeah. I will say that I don't know if it's still on YouTube, but there was a bootleg of like the very last number where they're talking about what happens to all the characters. Oh my God. Like just like tears.
Yep.
Tears. Yeah, I am counting down the days. I have a calendar in front of me because I have 2 part-time jobs and I never know what my schedule is anymore. So yeah, like First night of preview, September 26th, Ragtime, 8 p.m. I will be there. I'm going to write like a love letter about it on Instagram. Like it's just that night, that night is for me. And I'm not saying that as like everybody like that, because you know when you have like nights for yourself and they just like when I met Andrew Scott after seeing Vanya, like I didn't want to talk to anybody after when I like came home. So like that's gonna be me when I see Ragtime. Like nobody, I can't talk to anybody. Like it's gonna be for me. And I've been waiting for this moment
Yeah.
for that specific show to be at that specific theater with at least two of those perfectly cast members.
Mhm.
And you're welcome for whomever is listening that I manifested it for it to happen.
You did that.
I did. It's all me. So what do we want to manifest for you? Let's talk. I feel like we manifest things on this podcast, and I take full credit for like, I had somebody on the podcast a couple of years ago, and I don't think they know that I talk about how I'm the reason this happened to them. But I said, what are like your dream stuff? And he goes, yeah, I want to do Shakespeare in the Park.
Mm.
And it's like, it could still happen. He goes, well, you know, the auditions are too late now. A year later, like a few days after like the year anniversary of me releasing the podcast, they announced the cast of Hamlet at Shakespeare in the Park, and he was cast in it. So I take full
Powerful.
I mean, I manifest, I mean, I'm waiting for things to manifest for me. Hi, I'm single. Any good looking straight single guys out there? Um, but what do you want to manifest? Like Chicago, Broadway,
Oh,
like
for sure, Chicago. That's on the manifestation board. Yeah, I again, I wanna like I wanna grow old playing those parts. I want to grow old doing that show.
to be honest, it was I that's why I was like, can we talk about it? Because I like I don't know if there was this like a backstory or not of like whether or not you haven't done the Broadway production because frankly you have the Fosse background. You talked about how Anne Rankin, who directed and choreographed the revival, like she's an inspiration to you.
Oh my God.
So and that's why I'm just kind of surprised that it hasn't happened for you yet. And that's like a little like, is there
I
drama? Like I don't
no,
but
I honestly think um I think I'm the right age now. I think it's an age thing. I think it's an experience thing. I think it's, you know, you have to have an opinion about what you're doing. And I think it's tough. I started auditioning for that show when I was 21. And so oh my God, do you hear my dog? Do you hear Lolly? That's how I feel about it too, honey.
yeah.
Wait, the craziest thing is that I was talking about this. I was talking about Chicago, I swear, like 2 days ago, and she did the same thing. She's over it.
Probably like I was sick of hearing about you being in Chicago.
Give me Walter Bobby's phone number. No, I honestly like in looking at it, I think I auditioned really young. And I was, kind of being looked out for the cell block ladies. And I think I can kind of read young in general. But I don't know. I don't know if it's coming, going to be 40.
I can see you in the outfit. I can picture it.
I'm ready. I'm
I
ready.
can see it in my head right now.
Yeah.
Red nails. Like I see it.
God love you.
Okay,
we're manifesting that.
manifesting it. So I usually ask
The other big thing that I'm manifesting is I really want a revival of a chorus line to happen while I can still really fly.
Yeah.
That is what I'm manifesting. And I think, again, that's been in talks and I think a lot of people
weren't they supposed to do like a site specific chorus line and then like it got canceled the next day?
That was like I was really excited for my students to audition for that or be a part of it. That was like a non-ec version and in the city. And the other thing, again, that I feel passionately about with the chorus line is it's perfect the way that it is.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. I don't, it's a period piece. I don't think you need to update it or change it. And, you just need fabulous actors and talent and honesty. That should go really well.
Yeah.
But So that's something that I'm manifesting for sure. I want to dance. My favorite show is Sweet Charity. I got to play the part. It's my favorite role and probably the role I like connect with the most, honestly. And then also they're kicking around this Contact, Susan Stroman's Contact. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've been seeing shows for over 30 years. Thank you for thinking I'm younger. But, no, I never saw it, but I know of it. And I know that Hugh Boyd, no, what's his name? Boyd Gaines.
Boyd Gaines
Won a Tony for it. And I remember it's like,
yeah,
it was at Lincoln Center.
It was at Lincoln Center. Yeah, that is a dream role of the wife. I really want to play that role. Karen Ziemba also won the Tony Award for playing that role. And it's a great acting piece and dancing. But, I wanna do the triple threat thing with that dance heavy leaning. Yeah, that's what we're manifesting.
Yeah. Well, I always ask people like dream roles or projects. So that's kind of where we are or where we just were in this moment. Do you have any like top going theater experiences? I mean, other than Ragtime, of course.
Gosh. Theater going or being in the show?
It's usually theater going, but I kind of changed the roles a little bit when not to name drop or anything, but like that I've like worked on. It's like, sure. So it could be both.
Oh man. Okay, hold on. I gotta think about it for a second.
It's okay. I'm just gonna sit here.
I had the time of my life seeing Kinky Boots. I don't know why this one hits me so hard. I think I saw that show 3 times. I loved that show. I also think Jerry Mitchell is just brilliant.
And then ironically, you ended up performing at the Al Hirschfeld Theater.
I thought about that too.
Yeah.
I paid like special attention to the left-hand side because that's where I sat watching that show. I love The Outsiders, and I thought that the Cooperman brothers choreography was like that was the show for me. I thought that show was just brilliant. I'm trying to think of what I've seen recently.
Oh, it doesn't even have to be recently. Oh, like recently or like ever?
Ever. Okay, we'll go ever. Go ever.
Buckle down, girlfriend. I got a lot. So I always say Beth Level and Danny Burstein in The Drowsy Chaperone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, stupid.
It's like
stupid.
There was a play on Broadway called Brief Encounter based on the movie. It was like one of the most incredible things I've ever seen. Once I saw it off Broadway at New York Theater Workshop because I am such a Steve Kazee stan, not fan, but I love him. And I got a coupon code in the mail and I was like, let me use this coupon code because I'm just never going to see it. And I've been a fan of his since like 2005, 2006 when I saw him in Spamalot.
Yeah.
And I went to a matinee and I did something that I've never done and I haven't done since. But at the intermission, I went to the box office and I bought a ticket to see it again without even having seen the second act.
Stop.
And then the second time I saw it, nobody applauded during the first act because everybody was so immersed in the show. They didn't want to ruin anything. And then I saw 3 times at New York Theater Workshop. And then I went first night of previews on Broadway. I got myself like a full price ticket. I was either like second, third, or fourth row center orchestra. And I always tell the story that they did curtain call. The lights go up when everybody's supposed to leave the theater. Nobody left the theater. The audience was still going crazy that they made the actors come back out on stage and do like an encore curtain call. And like some of the actors, it was like, and I was lucky enough to have Steve Kazee come onto the podcast and like,
how were you able to function?
Oh, I cried. I cried very much. I cried. Hot Priest was not there that day because I was filming at my dad's old house. I was in the basement of their old house and I got to meet some of his dogs, which was great. He met my dad's dog and I cried talking about Once because it is one of I have 3 favorite musicals and once has just a special, just deep rooted place in my heart, and it always will. And it's just, yeah, I love Once so much. And it's there, it's real.
Oh, it's
Yeah. It's real, it's there. It's just my love for it will carry. I saw it, I think like 7 times on Broadway.
wow.
There was one time I won tickets because Marquetta from the Swell season was going to be there after the show performing.
Mhm.
And they were like, we're, having a contest for tickets. And I won, which was cool. Yeah, I love one so much. What else is like my top? Well, recently, the most recent is like John Proctor's The Villain. Did you get
Oh
to?
yeah, I did. I saw it.
Oh my,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
because that was one of the shows I worked merch at. So I saw it once. I paid a ticket for it because it was on TEF and I grabbed it. But like the other times I watched it for free. And I was lucky enough to get Gabe Ebert on the show, on the pod. And so I specifically watched a show, like a performance, just to study his performance.
You are such a good stalker.
I really am. Thank
You
you.
really are.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. As we're calling like researcher stalker, I very much appreciate it. I did like interview somebody recently and they said to me after, they're like, I've never had anybody interview me who's done so much research.
Yeah, no, you're pretty fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
It's a wonderful feeling because I'm not worried about what I need to talk about.
Oh yeah. I sometimes get worried about like, oh my God, what am I going to bring up next? But like, I think we covered a lot, but I'm trying to think of like other things. I also loved the revival of Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, that was beautiful too. That choreo, Fabian Eloise, is just we did Fosse together in the UK. He's a friend of mine. He's just brilliant. I mean, I remember seeing Sutton Foster in Fairly Mono Millie.
Wow.
That was a moment where I was like, oh, okay, yep, give me.
Yeah.
That one was life changing as well.
Yeah. I do believe that everybody has to see Sutton on stage at least once in their life.
I got to see her in
In Vogue?
Vogue.
Oh, and Sweeney Todd.
Sweeney Todd. That was the knife going across his neck.
You went up this guy. Like, imagine if they did like Sweeney. This is really terrible. I saw Anna Lee and Josh Groban in it, and I've never seen a production of Sweeney. Like, I grew up on Rodgers and Hammerstein, like not Sondheim, which is nothing against Stephen Sondheim. So I'm not like a Sondheim head, but like in my older youth now,
Yeah.
youth. I mean, that's with my older youth. I know Sondheim a lot better than I did back in the day, and but I keep forgetting that I saw Aaron as Sweeney.
Yep.
And I did.
And he manifested that. That was a dream role of his, right?
Yeah. I mean, I know that's a dream role
It's a great job.
because we talked about it.
Arnie. No, yeah, Sutton is
Yeah, she's incredible.
incredible. I mean, honestly, Into the Woods, and Sunday in the Park with George can get me to cry in the same way that Ragtime does.
Yeah.
And then also I really loved the revival of Pippin. I thought that was such a brilliant revival. And I'm she's Charlotte Demois, watching her do what she's made to do, it's endless inspiration with her.
Yeah.
So
I will say, this is like a total side note because my 3 favorite musicals of all time is Piazza, Once, and Great Comet.
Yeah.
So if I ever feel like I actually need to cry, I'll put on the overture of Light in the Piazza. And then I'll cry.
yeah, it's I do that with the movie Up. The first 10 minutes of, if I really need to cry,
Yeah.
I'll just go on. And I don't have to watch the whole thing.
Yeah, I think I discovered today, like I'll just, rent Every Little Step for like 3
Oh man,
Amazon Prime.
yeah.
And then I'll just cry when people get cast in roles. And then I'll just like keep crying after to be like, Jessica, please come to a podcast. Like that happened a little bit today when I was like watching YouTube videos of you.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think it was just like residual.
Every little steps.
Yeah.
Oh my
Just
God.
every little sub. But I will say the scene with Jason Tam, because I even posted it on my podcast Instagram account. There was like some page that posted his audition, and once in a blue moon, if it comes into my head, I will go on YouTube and I will look up his audition and I will watch it.
Yeah, I think that's the definition of a great audition is like his audition and Maradani's audition.
Yeah.
I love what Jay Binder said about like the way you book a Broadway show is like come in and give an opening night performance. And I feel like both of them did that and then like exceeded everything they did in that room once they were on stage.
Yeah.
Both of them are just so outrageously good and so such good human beings. I have to say, I don't know that I'm that way. It's funny. I used to beat myself up as a performer auditioner. I I try to prepare as much as possible, but I am not one of those people that like goes in and like gives the performance. I'm a grower, not a shower. Like it's gonna take a second for me, to like get there through the rehearsal.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
not.
like, I'll see you on opening night.
Yeah.
And like even like that revival of chorus line rehearsals, because I was so young and I didn't know that about myself. I was like, everyone is so incredible and I'm gonna be fired. Like it was every day I'd go and be like, please just get a little better today, Jess.
Yeah.
And then going out of town and like getting an audience and people laughing at me and it comes slowly, but like no, Jason Tam,
Yeah.
there wasn't a dry eye in the room. Insane.
Yeah. Well, I just think it's so interesting because people don't realize this because everybody has their own securities and you being so young at the time because they were seeking you for, a cover for Val and for Cassie, not so much the role of Val. And they were saying it was your final callback that got you the role.
Yeah.
Like they just surpassed. So, I mean, clearly they saw something in you where you can do the role.
Well, I'll let you in on a secret.
And everybody listening.
Yes.
Mhm.
I I didn't really have a book at that time. And I went in the first time and I sang Dance Time Looks 3. I sang Tits and Ass. And I remember Megan casting, I think it was Megan. She was like, that was so great. We're going to have you come back in. And my audition process was only a week long. She's like, we're going to have you come back in and I want you to bring your book and say something from your book and we'll, but we're going to look at you for covering all these parts. So I was like, okay. And I went home and I was like, I don't have anything. Like I have nothing. So I walked in that next time and I remember Bob Avian saying, Chelsea, what are you going to sing for us? And I said, Dance 10 Looks 3. And I sang it again. And he was like, good. And I remember casting kind of like looking over and I sang it and he was like, good. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Come in next time, bring your book and keep looking at everything. And I went in again and he said, what are you going to sing? And I said, Dance 10 Looks 3. And so I don't think I ever sang anything other than Val.
Wow.
I'm not for any reason, but other than I didn't have anything else to sing. And so, who knows if it was that I didn't give them any other choice but to look at me that way. But yeah, that's my truth.
Yeah. And you also had a cold on your final callback too.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had like that. Again, I think my body was shutting down because I couldn't believe I was in final callbacks for my dream show. And
Also like you guys auditioning at a Broadway theater, which like doesn't even happen
with cameras. Yeah, right. They had those auditions for
at a theater. Weirdly, you would end up doing Tuck Everlasting in.
Broadhurst. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We're also
You're well.
Oh yeah, you too. You know it very well.
Yeah.
But everyone else had been auditioning for a year and I couldn't get in for the auditions because my agent at the time said I was too young. They're like, we can't get you in. And so I went to an open call from I saw it on backstage.com and it happened to be the final open call and it was cast a week later. And it was such a whirlwind and it was also the dead of winter and freezing. And so I'm sure my body, it was just in full shutdown mode. And so I went, you don't see my actual final audition. I went in again after that, the day we were on stage, because they needed to make sure I could sing. Bob was like, "Go home, get better, and we'll have you come back in and sing with Patrick." And I did, and we, and he was like, "Okay, we'll sign off on it." But I was sick as a dog. I couldn't believe that I was on stage. I was like, I just remember putting so much makeup on, wearing that hot pink leotard, and I was on stage with my idols. Yeah. I was on stage with Rochelle Rack and Charlotte Dembois and Ken Allen and Deidre, and I have no idea what I did, and it's captured for all of time.
Well, it's funny because they also have that shot of you at what's it, Leduca? Am I saying? Yeah. I don't own a pair, nor will I'm not a dancer. For those listening, just go back and listen to how many times I say I'm not a dancer in the podcast, and just take a shot. I'm not a dancer. Oh,
that's the drinking game. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they were saying, like, look who's on the wall. Look who you're going to be on stage with. And you're like, I cannot believe it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And I tell that story about Donna seeing a video with me when I was younger doing it. Looking at her picture and now flash forwarding to having a picture of me on the wall at Leduca. It's just these pinch me moments. Again, like, it's not lost on me that I get to be a part of that legacy.
Yeah.
And that, there's somebody, who's sitting and getting fitted for a Broadway callback and seeing my image on the wall. And I take that, that's a big responsibility. And it's very cool. And I'm honored to be a part of that. And the whole capturing of, like, we had to sign a contract. We had to, like, sign away our rights to be filmed for every little step. And so, you kind of felt like, okay, well, I want to be considered for the show. So you want to sign it. And again, I'm so grateful that I was so young. I was like, whatever, I'll sign whatever you need, I'll do it. But having cameras on stage, like 6 cameras, really close to you, bright lights, and we're on stage for my final, for the final call of that show. Again, if it hadn't been filmed, I wouldn't be able to tell you anything about that day because it was just wild.
I'm curious because I did want to ask you, because you're featured a lot, because I'm sure they filmed a bunch of people and they picked specific people to focus on. So, like, they felt you were at home, like, going into the city. Was that like, she already got the part, let's, like, pretend?
Oh. Yeah, no. So, well, there was a little bit of that. They're definitely, like, making a movie. And some of it was filmed like a year later, probably. But no, they said, we're going to follow you. It was like midweek. We're going to follow you since you're in consideration. I was like, Mom, they want to come to the house. I was like, am I being considered for this? I mean, I just couldn't believe that I got to be there and audition for my dream show.
Yeah.
And so, and then of course my mother and I just, like, running around cleaning for like a day, getting ready for the cameras to come. Yeah. But no, some of those interviews happened in real time. It's tough to remember exactly which ones now, but me getting the show is not a real call. I think the only one that got getting the call is Chrissy Whitehead. And so a lot of it is reenactment, I'm sorry to say. And then also, like, a lot of, like, dubbing over, like, going into the sound studio and doing voiceover work. The editing magic. Like, I don't think none of the Vals auditioned back to back. Like, I didn't get to see, nobody saw each Val audition or anything like that. We were also spread out throughout the day.
So, like, the one particular actor wasn't, like, watching your audition from backstage.
Nelson.
Yes. I didn't want to shout out who the person is, but yeah.
She's one of the fiercest divas, and she was brilliant in her audition. Talk about, like, giving a opening night audition. She was brilliant, but no, she was not there. She wasn't, like, checking me out. And, a lot of that stuff, again, is kind of scripted. Like, I don't know how much we really said in real time or how much we were told to say in the booth. But, like, I remember going in and recording my, my dub overs as Nikki was finishing her sentence, her recording session. And, they were they lead you to, like, say what they need you to say. Yeah. But so it's tough to remember exactly what was in real time and what wasn't. But I am grateful that it exists. I don't know that I'll ever want another audition recorded ever. But now we have self-tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm glad it exists, and I'll get to like show my kids someday.
Yeah. Have you ever had to do a self-tape, like a dancing self-tape?
That, yeah, I did. I did a dance self-tape for Chicago.
Oh.
Probably 4 years ago. I did a little Hot Honey Rag self-tape. But no, I mean, most of the time, like post-pandemic, if they want to see you like sing a specific role or like sing a song from the show, rarely do I have to dance on a self-tape. Because I love it's so weird. Self-tapes are so weird. I want to be in the room, and especially for a dance call.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be in the room with people. I want to dance with people around me and like feel that energy. So yeah, I'm grateful I don't get asked to do that often.
I'm gonna look at Jacob's questions again. Shout out, Jacob. We love you.
We love you.
Yeah, again, he's gonna die. Okay. Okay. I'm just gonna pick a random one. What movie/movie musical adaptation would she like to be turned into a show on Broadway or off Broadway?
That's fair.
And he has like two other ones I want to ask, but we'll get there.
Oh. Oh gosh. I feel like this comes up all the time in my mind, and now I'm not thinking of any. Um Marvel. Oh, I don't know.
Movie or movie musical?
I'm surprised La La Land hasn't happened.
It does not have to happen.
Bam!
I'm gonna try and lift my leg like you.
Lift your leg.
Bam!
Yeah, well, yeah. My husband loves La La Land. He'd be happy to see that happen.
I'm still waiting. Well, I've talked about like Hercules. That should be like,
That's coming.
yeah, it's coming. I don't know to New York, but I've also, and I'm like, this is kind of hypocritical of me because there's some like once is a movie musical adaptation.
Yeah.
And I'm also like, I'm kind of like devil's advocate with it, where I'm like, I'm tired of these movie
I'm
musicals.
with you.
Like,
Yeah.
nothing's nothing
Yeah,
original.
you want something new. Yeah.
But it would have to like I love Romeo and Michelle's high school reunion.
Yeah.
But, like if there's a movie I love, it would depend honestly on like who's in the cast.
Mhm.
But I am still waiting for That Thing You Do.
Oh, yes.
And again, it depends on who is in the cast. And the people in my mind who would play the part, I think are aging out of it.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We better start manifesting like now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't have to manifest that hard for it because if it doesn't happen, I'm not going to be angry. But like,
Oh, you know what I want to see happen?
what?
For a long time, they were kicking around A League of Their Own.
Oh, yeah.
I want that to happen. I want to play the Madonna role.
Oh my God, yes.
Right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of like they're doing Bull Durham and Damn Yankees is a budget. So
My husband's in rehearsal for Bull Durham right now.
yeah. Yeah. So they maybe wait on the baseball movies.
Uh-huh. Yeah, you're right.
Give it a couple of years.
You're right.
You can still play the Madonna part.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Age is an illusion. Who cares? You're only
I'm
20.
gonna have new hips. Yeah.
No
The
hit.
surgeries are gonna get good, I think.
Yeah, I
I'm
think
excited
so.
for that. Yeah.
You just do like a tiny little, like you can't even tell.
Yeah.
I worked for a plastic surgeon. I know things.
Really?
Carl, don't get me started. But it's nice because I was the only female in the office who did not need Botox.
Yeah. Girl, you look good.
Thank you. I moisturize, and it's probably the lighting. You look great too, by the way.
I also have a really nice ring light happening moment.
Good. We're doing so well. Okay. So 2 more questions from Jacob. Jacob, we love you.
Jacob, we love you.
Again, he's gonna die. Does she have any good luck superstitions?
Oh. Yeah, I knock on wood. I had a wooden ring for a while that I would wear backstage. If somebody said break a leg, I would always knock. Um, I have a thing where, like physically, I don't like, say I have to like wrap a toe or wrap an ankle. I don't like to feel not equal. So I will do the same thing, even though I don't need to the other side. I do that a lot. I guess I'm kind of superstitious. Um, I gotta think. I did a lot when I was a kid. So I was a competitive gymnast, and I had this game. This is gonna sound so weird. I would like carb load before meets. And so I would like eat spaghetti and meatballs for like breakfast. And I would have this thing where I wanted to ask the universe like how well I was going to do or if, in the meet. And I would eat spaghetti, and however long the spaghetti was, I felt that's how good I was going to do. It's like, I know, precious. Also, I used to have to name the seven dwarves before a meet. And I don't know if I can I don't know if I can do it now. Can you name them?
Let's see. Happy, Doc, Dopey, Sleepy, Grumpy, Sneezy.
It's harder than you think, right?
Yeah. Well, no, it's like on that episode of Friends where they're trying, it was a Thanksgiving episode and they had to like name all 50 states before they can eat. Ross like couldn't remember any of them. So it's like whenever you're put on
hard, yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
That's kind of bothered.
No, yeah. As a kid, I remember having a lot of superstitious stuff. Do you?
What's the famous words of Michael Scott? I'm not superstitious. I'm a little stitious. Like if I say something like God forbid, I like knock on wood.
Right.
I'm just trying to think. I can't think of any offhand. Like I think I'm very like unintentionally ritualistic when it comes to certain things. Like when I have gone to Disney, I'm very specific about like which parks I go to. Like in like the order of days. Like it has to be Magic Kingdom, then it's Epcot, then it's Hollywood Studios. I never go to Animal Kingdom because let's be real. And then I repeat that. And then I have to start the countries. Like I think it just depends on the situation to be like superstitious. Maybe with like some things, but like, yeah, I'm not a performer. Like, I dance around my apartment and I sing in my apartment. I did a cabaret a couple years ago and I sang and I still have like a little PTSD from it. So, and
real.
So, what?
That's real. I would say, I think performing in smaller settings and doing like cabaret work to me is terrifying compared to like being on stage in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I don't like being able to actually see people, or if it's like people that I know. I think it's a scary thing.
Well, no, I also hosted the cabaret, which like I'm fine going like, hey, but I also said to myself, like, I'm hosting and like I don't think I'm doing as good as I think I am. But and
then you're watching yourself from above. Yeah.
Like it's funny too, because it was for that virtual readings that we did. Like the company did like 2 cabarets. So the first one I sang at. And it was my first time singing in front of like people in 10 years. And I was like, wow, I remember saying to myself, I sound nervous. I have nervous vibrato. I just said the word green and I'm wearing green. So I sang a song from South Pacific and I love South Pacific. But like sometimes when I listen to South Pacific now, I'm just like, oh God. But somebody from the cabaret gave me like such a nice compliment about my singing. And then like I interviewed somebody who sang with us after and I was like, yeah, I was nervous. And they're like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. And the nerves are, it ends though with that, I think.
Yeah.
For me at least. I think that's a good thing. Like caring that much,
Yeah. Do you get, so as a dancer who dances, I said in the Justin Timberlake tone, because we're talking about nerves. Do you still get nervous doing Cassie?
Yeah, I get not nervous. I get nervous when I have to revisit it again for the first time because I'm somebody else. I'm somebody new. It's like, again, I say like, it's another layer of the onion. I'm a new person every year. You're living more life. I'm learning who I am. And so each time I revisit it, it has to be like almost a completely blank slate.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be nerve wracking.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I just want to be honest. And then, yeah, I guess, and now I get nervous that I'm going to be aware, that I'm going to be self-aware. I don't want to be aware of how I'm delivering a line in comparison to the way it was last night, reacting, honestly, trying not to think about how I sound or, tripping up on a step. It's tough. It's a 10-minute piece. And so, you learn kind of how to be forgiving of yourself. And also some of the times I think when I've left the stage being like, did that, like I killed it. It was perfect. I don't know that I really was able to convey what I needed to or how honest I was. So I don't know. Yeah, I still get nervous. I get not for music in the mirror, but like I will always get those nerves right before you get the okay to walk out on stage in the darkness. Because especially in that show, it's blackout. You can still hear the audience, and all you hear are like the silent feet walking. And then the next thing you hear is da 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 da. And there's, I don't know, there's just this like surge, but it's more butterflies and excitement.
I think it's more like anticipatory.
Yeah.
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 Because I always get a little anxious before I do a podcast episode,
Yeah.
because it's
For sure. I think, again, the more intimate it is, I think the more nervous. Like I was never more nervous than on our wedding day, Blake and I's wedding day. I don't know what it is about, the people that you love the most, like being that vulnerable, and a small setting. We only had like 113 people at our wedding. That felt much more difficult than like being in front of a wall of people.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah.
All right. One more Jacob question, and then we'll like move on. Jacob, we love you.
I love you.
Again, I'm gonna have such a moment. Okay. Well, actually, these two questions are good. So I'm gonna give you two more.
Okay.
Who is her all-time favorite performer? And then I'll give you the second question. If she can choreograph with anyone living or dead, who would it be? And also to add on top of that, because I just remembered that I wanted to ask you this, did you watch the Hulu series Fosse Verdon? You can answer that later, but I had to get it out before I forgot.
Okay. For me, it's so hard because really for me, it's Donna McKechnie and Gwen Verdon.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something, it's Gwen Verdon, I think, Gwen, it's just magic. I don't know. There's just her storytelling through her movement. I don't know. And her stillness, again, like that's always something that I'm striving for because I can dance like a maniac. And it's like, I talk about it in class all the time. It's like she had a frame on her face at all times. The sun is like always hitting her cheekbone. The audience is always with her and always with her eyes and her face. And I don't know. She has been the one forever and ever. I don't know that I would want to. Again, it's so tough because I don't really consider myself a choreographer. I'm again, I say all the time, I'm grateful that people really like what I'm doing and I love to keep the stuff alive. And at some point I will have to digest this role. But yeah, I still feel like I don't know. It was never a part of the dream. You know what I mean? And so I feel like it's still I am still like coming to peace with it. I don't know that I would want to choreograph with someone, but I would die to watch to be a fly on the wall watching Bob Fosse and Gwen Verdon making something.
Yeah.
I think that would just be my dreams. Just like, how did they come up with this stuff? How did they interact? You know, and just watching them like dance in a mirror.
Yeah. And so then the unintentional part 3 of that question. Did you watch Fosse Verdon on Hulu FX?
I have watched 2 episodes.
Okay.
My husband was like, you got to watch it. I had auditioned for the show and I really wanted to do the show. And it didn't happen. I will say, I didn't stop watching for any reason. It's brilliant. The show is brilliant. Michelle Williams is so good. I gotta get back into it.
Yeah. Well, now that I mentioned it, you'll probably go back and watch it.
Yeah, we're all gonna go watch it.
Yeah. I will say that, like, screen performance wise, there's like 3 that stick out for me always. One of them is Timothée Chalamet in Call Me by Your Name. Anybody can fight me on it. It's one of my favorite movies. They need to get over it. Natalie Portman and Jackie. I only watched that movie once, but I'm like, she should have won the Oscar. I said it. And then the other is Michelle Williams and Fosse Verdon.
She's brilliant.
Yeah, she won. I was actually talking to somebody about this, I think like a week or so ago, and I was saying she won every single award she was nominated for that part. Emmy, Golden, Critics' Choice, SAG Award, like every single, and that's where she met her now husband.
Wow. Yeah, I think she's one of the best we have.
Yeah.
She's kind of a chameleon.
Yeah. And to think, like, her, like, people know her from Dawson's Creek, and now she's like, which they're having, they're doing a reunion on the 22nd at the St. James Theater of Dawson.
Are you going?
No, because tickets are too expensive. And then they just announced that they're doing a lottery, but I have to work until 8 o'clock that day now. It's fine. It's fine. I'm going to be there in spirit. I'm Team Casey all the way. Were you a Dawson's Creek person?
I wasn't. I think no.
It's okay.
I don't know. I don't know if did I just miss it?
I don't know. It was when we were younger.
How old were you?
You're around the same age. I'm like a little, yeah, I'm 38. Yeah, thank you for thinking I look younger.
Yeah, you're stunning.
Oh my God. I like that one, just like fishing for compliments. Like, any single good-looking straight guys out there? No? Okay. I'm on dating apps. They're terrible. God. I went on a date. Girl, what?
I did them. The dating apps?
Yeah.
I did the dating apps for a second.
Yeah. My friend just got engaged to somebody she met from Hinge. So that's like now the only person in my life who's either engaged or has married somebody they met off of Hinge.
It can happen.
Yeah, I know, but not to me apparently. And it doesn't help that like I have all these cousins who have like met their now like wife or husband off of Hinge.
Right. Because then they're all like, it's going to happen. You just got to keep right. Yeah.
I went to one of my cousin's wedding last year and everyone kept saying, thank God for Hinge. Thank God. And then this might sound hippy dippy, but you know, we're theater people. I got let go from the plastic surgery job at the end of January. It's fine, honestly. So I had my chart read by one of the patients and she said, you're not going to meet your person until later in life. I'm like, I am in my late 30s. Like,
she didn't say how late, right? Yeah, yeah.
No, but I'm like, come on, girl.
Yeah.
I always end up like talking about how I'm single on the podcast. Maybe that's just me manifesting a boyfriend.
I will say, I met my husband kind of late. I was 36 when I met Blake.
Yeah.
That true? No, that's a lie. I just lied.
It's okay.
We've been together 7 years.
I've only just met you, so you can lie and you wouldn't know if you were really 2 years. Okay, so let me see if there's any other questions I have on my list of things. Okay. Yeah, so I am curious because we did talk earlier. I did want to ask this question because as a dancer who dances and you feel freedom when you dance, is there a specific type of choreography or dance that you've ever done where you just feel like fucking free dancing it?
It's music in the mirror.
Okay.
And it's specifically the piece that's called Swan Lake. It's right after the slow section happens, and like the music starts to pick up, and it's yeah, yes,
that's my favorite because you're like, that's my
it starts to take over.
Yeah, because like the dance like this, that's my favorite. Thank you.
You've said how many times that you're not a dancer?
I have movement, but I can't.
The ribcage isolation that I just witnessed in that leotard, that was that was straight Michael Bennett right there.
Oh my God, stop it. But I can't do a time step to save my life.
Well, yeah, tap is not my thing either. I can tap, but why? Yeah. There's so many people that do it so much better.
Yeah. Listen, but I need lessons, so maybe one day when I can afford it, I'll do it.
Oh, let's go. But yeah, no, Swan Lake in Music in the Mirror is the most free. It feels like there is no divide between me and like the air molecules and me and the music, and like everything is just like completely flowing around me and through me, and it's flying. It's the best feeling in the entire world.
Yeah, because I said earlier there was like certain there's certain like dance numbers where I have favorite pieces, but the movement where you said I have like really good Michael Bennett right now.
Yeah,
like that's my favorite part of that.
It's so good.
Piece.
It's so good.
And then when you're doing like this with your head, yeah, that too.
a lot of hairography.
Yeah, a lot of hairography. Okay.
A lot of hairography.
So let's do some inside the actor studio questions now. Okay. Let me pull them up. Jessica Lee Goldyn, what is your favorite word?
Joy.
What is your least favorite word?
This is tough.
Also, like, if you don't have one, that's fine.
I know. I'm like, what is my least favorite word?
You can do like a generic one, like moist.
I quite like moist.
Some people say
bother me.
I don't like the word. Okay, there's three. I don't like the word pussy. I don't like the word titties, and I don't like the word panties. Like I don't like any of those.
I understand. I don't know that there's not any words that I don't really like.
Yeah, so we move on.
Okay, we're moving on.
Move on. Oh, see, look, we brought some Sondheim in. There we go. See how many like full circle moments.
Full circle.
Full circle. Again, I speak English, I promise. What turns you on?
Plie. A deep plie.
Nice. What turns you off? A not deep plie?
Not deep plie. The straight leg, honey. No, judging. Yeah.
What is your favorite curse word?
Fuck.
What sound or noise do you love?
Children laughing.
What sound or noise do you hate?
My dog crying.
Don't talk about Chicago.
Don't mention it.
Imagine when you're finally in the show, you can never bring Molly around.
She's gonna have to come and see it. We got to figure out how to get her in.
Yeah, just she can be one of those like oh my God, special service dogs. Yeah. Okay. What profession other than yours would you like to attempt?
I have an affinity for true crime. And so I think I would be an incredible investigator.
We're going to talk about this once we're done because the amount of like, oh, okay.
That's I want to do it all. I want to be like because I also love the psychological side of it. Like, why do people do these things? But I also want to like take the string from the bullet to the bullet hole and like figure out how the crime occurred.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not as sexy as it appears on TV, but I love that. And then I also really love green things. I love plants.
I was saying to myself, I should comment how nice her plants are in her background.
Thank you. Blake always jokes, you should, like, we have a mini rainforest. They're not happy right now. I don't know why. It's like the change in season. But I love plants. No, I'm like, it's like a landscape business. I don't know. I I want my hands in the dirt, in the earth.
Let's do it. Okay. What profession would you not like to do?
I don't know how, especially now, like how teachers, real teachers, like elementary school teachers, do it.
Yeah.
They must be saints, angels on earth. And I love kids. But yeah, I don't know that I would like to like teach history in elementary school.
It's fair. Okay. And finally, as Mr. Lipton used to say, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Let's dance.
Dancing for life.
Yeah, I hope we just get to dance when we're there. That's what I want to do.
Nah. Or we can do the David Bowie, let's dance. Don your red dress. Dance the blue.
Come on. You in that rib cage?
Oh, yeah.
And it's just you between Anne Ranking and Cheetah Rivera?
Oh, yeah. I will say, though, when the VMAs, oh, you know that? I was just like hanging out with you. I can't speak like
You're very grand. I like it.
Yeah. Like in my head, I feel like I am like a grand dame who needs to walk around with like a big hat and like a muumuu.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my essence. So I'm like about like 30, 40 years away from that.
Yes.
Yeah. That's definitely my vibe. With like just diamonds as well.
Oh, yes. I keep wearing, I'm in a mode of a lot of like white button-ups. I wear mostly black, but I'll wear like a white button-up and just like black pants. It's getting very Elaine Stritch. I think that's my future.
Yeah. And a bucket hat.
Tights and a button-up.
And a bucket hat. And a bucket hat. Didn't she walk around with a bucket hat? Yeah.
I'll have a bowler hat. Yeah.
Yeah. Or no, a bullet. No, there was like, yeah, she had like a I don't know what she had.
But she also rocked a lot of heels for a long time. And I've got some killer bunions, so I will be in a flat.
Well, I noticed the last dance you were in sneakers.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was one of the things I loved most about playing Val is that she got to dance in sneakers. My bunions, I've got some killer ladies on my
Did you name them?
No, I should. But it did make me feel better when we were doing the 50th, Donna McKechnie and we were doing a interview, and she kicked off, or so she had little sandals on, and I caught a glimpse of her bunions, and it made me feel like, okay, well, I'm a part of the club. You know?
Yeah, they're dancer bunions.
Dancer bunions.
You can just name them Val and Cassie.
Oh God. Yeah. No, I love a flat. I love a flat shoe. So like I see a world where, remember when Patti LuPone was doing Gypsy and she wore isotoners? Is that what you call them? For like a lot of the run. You know, for like a good month, she just wore slippers on stage. I think that would be wonderful to do a show and just be like, I'm just going to wear my slippers.
Yeah. Like I'm a great dancer. Like I chew nails, but I'm going to do it in slippers, you guys.
Wow.
So what was that like then, dancing the Roxanne dance in like on your, like getting dragged on your toe?
I talk about this all the time. In that show, we were in 3-inch Laducas, and I don't wear 3 inches. I usually wear like a 2.5 inches, my max. Cassie's shoes are like 1 3/4 inches. for a reason, to be like, again, the plie that down into the floor. And I really like a Cuban heel. I mean, Gwen Verdon dances and slats a lot. Mm-hmm. And so doing Moulin Rouge in that 3-inch, I felt like I was on stilts. And Roxanne, I mean, I don't know. Also, I'm not super bendy in that way. She did okay. I'm proud of myself. But like putting my foot on Caleb, who's quite tall, on his shoulder and being dragged like that every night, it didn't feel like something I was supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And definitely not in that 3-inch heel. That was, I think, the last time I wore a 3-inch.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You pulled it off. So
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. Telling you these things. I love like a Love Gone Wrong.
Oh, yes.
Like, yeah. That like give that all to me. I did recently watch like there was a 3-season thing on Hulu called Betrayal, where like each one it turns out like the guy was like a pedophile.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah. It's not like the same thing, but did you the one that's going crazy all over the world right now, the unknown one?
Oh yeah, of course.
Like, and it turned out spoiler to be the mother. They talked about it on the news today.
It broke my heart that at the end of that documentary, her daughter was like, I just love her. And we're, I cannot imagine how that could happen in real life. Like the things that she told her daughter to do and the things that she said, oh my God, we were floored. I put it on because I was like, I don't know if this is really going to be anything. Sometimes I watch the show like Catfish, the MTV one. I would just like throw it on while I was like cleaning the house, like not really listening. A lot of it felt stagey too. And so I was like, we're just going to throw this on. And then it started and we like sat down and we were like, wait, what's going on? Fully invested.
Yeah. There is one I always talk about and I cannot remember the name of it, but like 2020 has this thing on Hulu where again, it's like these love gone wrong things. So there was this guy, he was in a relationship with a woman for many years. They had kids. It didn't work out. They broke up. So he started online dating. So he started dating this woman. I don't know their name, so we'll give her a fake name.
Mm-hmm.
Mona. Mm-hmm. So he starts dating Mona. And then that doesn't work out. And so he's a mechanic. He's working at a garage. A woman walks in, Joanne. They start dating. She has a kid. He has kids. You know, they're dating, whatever. Then Mona's like, I left something at your apartment. So she just sees Joanne in passing. And then next thing you know, Joanne is sending this guy text messages, emailing, like stalking him pretty much. And her family has like no idea where she is, but she's in communication with her family. And she's sending this guy like hundreds and thousands of texts and emails and is stalking him for years, and then ends up stalking the woman Mona. And then the guy and Mona start dating. Her house is burned down with her animals in it. Turns out that Mona is the one who was doing all of this. She murdered Joanne and was pretending to be her, set her own house on fire.
No.
Yep.
Nope.
It was on one of the 2020 episodes, and then they also turned like an hour and a half.
Like,
they also turn, and it's also a documentary on Netflix. I cannot remember the name of it, but
I'll find it.
Yeah, it's wild.
The Jinx.
I did not watch The Jinx, but I know of it. But like the whole NXIVM thing and the sex cult, I was all over that. All over
Staircase.
No, but they turned that into an HBO miniseries.
No, I'm excited about it.
Yeah, I think it can.
And then also like Making a Murderer. I watched that series like, I don't even know, 3 times. Funny, I auditioned for this. I got the part. This movie, King of Staten Island, that Apatow directed. And the audition was like, I was one of the firefighter's wives. And this wife is obsessed with Making a Murderer. And I was like, perfect. I'm obsessed with Making a Murderer. And so I had to go into the audition and improv with the reader about Making a Murderer. and I got the part, and I got to film this whole scene. It didn't make it into the movie, but it was this whole scene about just improving, about how obsessed I am with the show. It was my dream. It was my absolute dream. And I knew so much more than anyone else in the room. I was like, they're going to think I'm crazy.
Or just be like, I just did my research.
That's right. Yeah. I prepared for this audition. Right. Yeah.
I did. Yes. So before we end, because I can talk to you for so much, like come back anytime.
God love you.
Anything you want to come on, anything you want to talk about, anything you want to promote, anything in life, just like come on.
You're a dream.
You are a dream. Be best friends.
Exactly.
Yeah. I will say though, like when I like opened, because I have like a personal Instagram and like my podcast, and then I was like, oh, I have a notification for my podcast. Oh, I have a follow. And then I was like, what's going on? I was like, is this shit being with me? And then I was like, oh, I can DM her now about coming on my podcast. And then when Blake emailed me back, I just unsent that message I sent you, not to see like stuff.
I didn't know. I never saw it.
Well, no, because I unsent it.
I found funny.
I was like, oh, she follows me now. So now I can like be like, hey, podcast.
Oh, hit me up. We have to go out.
Oh my God. I'm like,
we're going to see Ragtime.
If you want to buy me a ticket, because I'm working 2 part-time jobs right now. Let's be
to support the Ragtime.
That ticket is like, yeah, I can't get another ticket with my membership, but I'll like, well, we'll go. It'll be great. If not that, we'll see something else. I'm seeing Punch. I'm very excited for Punch at Theater Club.
Okay.
Yeah. And I decided I'm going to buy myself a ticket to see Chess because I just want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of like what else is coming that I'm excited about. Oh, I have feelings about one show coming in the spring that I don't want to talk about on the podcast.
Okay.
I talk off podcast about it because I have strong feelings.
Yeah.
But before we go,
tell me.
If people want to work with you, if they want to do the Source NYC, like that, now this is like promotion time. Mm-hmm. Like if they want to get in touch, like what do they do? How do they do it?
Yeah. Well, the easiest way, you can go to my Instagram, and in my profile, you'll find our website link for the Source NYC. We do intensives kind of every 3 months, 2-day intensives. And we have 6 guest artists come. We've had fabulous guest artists. Kind of everyone I've dreamt of has said yes. Mm-hmm. We've had Jerry Mitchell and Sergio Trujillo, and Charlotte Dembois has come and danced with us. Josh Bergas learning original choreography. And also what I find really awesome about those weekends is we do Q&As with all of the creatives, and just hearing, like getting to actually talk to them and being in the room and like, I don't know, getting to know them on that level is very cool. I do private lessons, which you can also find on our website. And I kind of work with anybody on what they want to do. If there's something that's specific they want to learn or specific they want to work on. And then you can come and take class with me at Steps on Broadway. I teach Tuesdays and Thursdays from 1 to 3 and Sundays from 4 to 6. And I like to say my class is kind of like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. One week we're like doing something super stylized and small and chill. And then the next week, we're like doing, brass band and running all over the room and traveling and being high energy. So, I'm always trying to keep everybody on their toes and like learn something fun and awesome. But most importantly, like anytime, I'm creating any space, any educational space, I want everybody to walk away feeling challenged and inspired and supported. Again, this is a hard industry. And, I had a lot of wonderful, I would not be here without the incredible teachers that I had pass it on to me. And so I'm, again, so grateful to get to be a part of that legacy and pass it on to the next generation and support, everyone in their dreams as they move forward in their journey.
So great. Is there any, I was going to ask like if there's anything you want your students to take away, but is there a question that your students ask you that you find they ask you the most or you get asked the most? And if so, what is your answer to it?
Ooh. I think the thing that comes up again and again is wanting to feel a deeper connection to whatever it is that they're learning or dancing, like figuring out how to, again, make it their own. And I think you got to live your life. You got to figure out who you are. And again, your opinion of things and who you are. Live your life. Like, go out and like see the world, do stuff that you love outside of theater, because that will all be infused in your dance. And then also, I think part of my joy is getting to be in the room with such brilliant dancers, like unbelievable technicians that can do absolutely anything. And then getting them to get out of their own way in like thinking that there has to be any kind of perfectionism or worrying about the step over having a good time, and like I really is like letting your soul kind of shine and fly and let people see who you are. So I really love helping people reach that level of making it their own and being seen. And I really think it's just like remembering why we're doing this in the first place and how much we love it.
Yeah. I just keep going back to, like, not to sound super cheesy or anything, but music in the mirror. That's really like, you're a dancer who dances, and you just want to be on the stage performing and do what you love.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
You're a dang dream. Thank you for having me.
You can stay on when we're done recording, but I want to thank you sincerely and honestly for being my 100th episode guest. I like I said to you many times already, I just could not be more thrilled and honored that, one, you said yes to doing the podcast, and two, that we have this high holy honor of you being the 100th episode guest. And like, I just am really grateful. And I'm also just realizing, like, holy shit, it's the 100th episode. So that's wild.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Wow. Okay. Yeah, not priest and all. Andrew Scott, thank you for always being a part. It's just like my little award right now. And just listening, the hot priest of it all. It's just kind of amazing how the podcast has evolved from like my old apartment to interviewing like friends of mine to having like someone like you come on and, be my 100th episode guest, and just having such like a great time.
Wow. I had a blast.
Thank you.
I'm obsessed with you.
Oh.
Truly.
You're seeing me have a moment right now. Oh my God, what? Like, I'm obsessed with you. Let's be obsessed with each other. Thank you for listening. We're going to end the podcast now, and I'm going to like fall off the chair. Thank you all for listening. Happy 100th episode to us all. Woo! Okay. Thanks all.